Got so much weight on my shoulders, enough to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne.
Hello everybody. Finally getting around to answering this question. I looked through the videos, old videos, and somebody had asked me about where do most fights take place at. I thought I'd done a video on it. I guess I really haven't. I did talk about fights, but I didn't really talk about where. So when you're in prison, what is that? You'll see a lot of fights over different things. You'll see them in over card games, even spades. But a lot of times it's over gambling, and a lot of the fights are over debts. I seen one time the ticket man, what we call the ticket man. He made these tickets, and if you hit, he pays you 10 more than what you gave him. Like if you gave him a stamp, he'd have to give you 10 back. So he got hit hard by a bunch of people. So they was after him. He didn't have enough money to cover it all. So he went to the hole. The place didn't have PC, but he went to the hole. Basically, he checked in. But we're talking about fights in this. I've seen fights over gambling, over debts, over basketball. Can't tell you how many I've seen over basketball. And people getting their feelings about it, You can just go out there and watch a basketball game and you'll see people, especially if it's outside. Inside you didn't see it so much. Once in a while you did. But outside it seemed like there was more of them. In the handball court, I've seen fights there, but a lot of times the fights on the handball court, because those, you got this wall for that's where people would go to fight, so that they're hoping not to be seen. They're less likely to be seen. They could still be seen, but it's less likely. I've seen fights in the chow hall take place, like at the walls, Missouri State Penitentiary. Once you got a seat, that was your seat. You didn't let nobody else take it. If somebody sat down in your seat, you would tell them. When you came up, you go, "Hey man, you're in my seat." And they had to, if they didn't get up and leave, then you had to handle your business, because a lot of times the people doing that, they're trying to see if they can just take your seat. It's not that they want the seat, they want to see what you're going to do. And if you let that happen, then, you're going to have all kinds of problems. Other people after you and stuff. So you have to take care of that. But after the walls, I didn't see, there wasn't too much of a seating thing, arrangement thing, You sat wherever you wanted in most places. But I seen what they do in most prisons in the chow hall. If there's a fight breaks out, they come in and mace everybody. If the people who are eating, they get to get another tray. They get to get up and go around and get another tray because of the mace and stuff. Most times, you don't want another tray. You're having trouble eating what you got. But I only went over to the chow hall if it was something good. And that was usually at breakfast. Like, they really didn't mess up breakfast too much. They did on the pancakes sometimes, like they didn't cook them enough or something, but there's only certain things I'd go over. So I missed a lot of fights that happened in the chow hall, but the ones that I were there for, we all got another tray. And one time, I was the reason everybody got another tray. I was in Farmington, And this young guy and this old guy sit down, and I kind of recognized the old head. He's old school, been in prison a long time, I could tell, but I didn't really know exactly who he was. And, it wasn't clicking. But the young guy is running his mouth, and he tells me, he says, Pops here has been at the walls. Well, I had too, but I didn't say that. And he says, I was at the walls too. Did a year back there. Just think to myself, how'd you make it out of there alive? I was wondering if nobody killed you. I've seen people killed for less, The old man, the old school convict, kept telling him, man, just knock this off, man. You need to stop running your mouth. You need to stop talking. And he just kept going. And then he gets to messing with me about my food. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. It has nothing to do with the food. It's the whole principle. If he'd asked me for the cake, I'd probably give it to him. If that dry ass cake would shut him up or choke him or something. Because the cake was dry. I mean, the cake was always dry. You had to have something to drink with it. But he acted like he's going to take his fork. Well, first he says, I'll take your cake. I said, you ain't going to touch my cake. Now, I've had friends and people I hung around with say things like that, and I've done that to them, but we knew one another, and we were just messing with one another. I did not know this guy at all. And so he takes his fork and acts like he's coming over to get my cake, and so I let him have it. I blasted him. And we ended up on the floor. The old head just kept sitting there. Anyway, they came in, they rushed, and they pounced on us and cuffed us and jerked us up on our feet. I don't know why they do that. When they cuff you, it seems like they're just, instead of helping you up gently, they pull you up by your arms, it seems like. Not all of them do, but a lot of them do. Anyway, as we're getting ready to be taken to the hole, we got mace in our hair and stuff and all over us. I hear the old head say, man, I told you, man, keep your mouth shut. When are you going to learn? When are you going to listen to me? So, I get out of the hole, and I seen the older guy. So I walked up to him and I said, hey, man, I just want to make sure there's going to be no more problems, I said, is this over with, And he goes, yeah, it better be over with. He goes, I'm going to stop messing with the dude. He said, I'm trying to school him, man, and you just won't listen. And I said, well, I just ain't got no beef with him, or anything. I said, it's just, it wasn't even about the cake, man. It's just, he goes, I know exactly what it's about, And he goes, he's just wants to play all the time, wants to do this and do that. It's going to get him seriously hurt one day. And I couldn't disagree with him, but anyway, so the basketball court, I would say, is where a lot of them take place. Handball court. A lot of times at the gambling table, and then, like I said, once in a while in the chow hall. Probably more than what I've seen because, like I said, I can go over there a whole lot. But those are where the places most fights take place at. And then in chow hall, it could be over anything. It doesn't even have to be about food. It could be something that happened on the yard or something's going on with them. They decide to get them in the chow hall, I've seen a worker come out from the back to get a guy that was getting a trade. And I don't know what that was about. I don't know if he said something through the little hole there where we get food, or if it's something ongoing, because And when they started with the housing units couldn't get out at the same time. You know, not all they didn't let all the housing units out at the same time. Usually, you can only see somebody at the chow hall. You know, that's where they let all the. That's the only time they let the housing units all out at once. Or sometimes, like at medical, you'd see somebody from another housing unit. Of course, on the visit, no. I have seen fights in the business. I've seen a bad one at the walls. A dude slapped this girl. This almost ended up in a racial thing because this white girl was with this black guy in the visiting room visiting. I'm sitting with my family like a couple tables over, and then between us and the next couple there was a white dude and his family. The white girl slaps the black guy. Slaps him. I mean, I hear the smack, and I turn around, and he smacks her back. As I'm turning to look, he's smacking her back. The white dude sitting in the table between us, he jumps up and hits the black dude. And a fight breaks out. And they tell everybody who's not involved to get up against the wall, so we're all up against the wall, you know. And some other people got involved that were standing up in the wall. I don't know why. My brother was one of them. I think he just wanted to get in it, to be honest with you. I'm not sure what the deal was. But I don't know, maybe a guy got bumped into him or something. I don't know. But my brother ended up getting into it, and he got his visits taken away for a year. It was just stupid. And at least he learned his lesson from that. He never did anything like that again. But my brother had his visits taken away for a year. A lot of people lost their visits for a long time. Alright, sorry about that, everybody. The camera turned off. So I think the last thing I said about my brother had his visits taken for a year. For getting involved in that, stupid of him. You ask me, he didn't have to get involved in that. Then there was another time in Farmington, this is years later, family came up to visit the guy. The woman set this cradle lock thing down beside her with the baby in it. And this one guy was going up, I guess, to get something to eat or drink, and he looked like one of those creeps anyway. And he kind of stopped, and he kicked that cradle. The guy jumped up from the table, punches him. You know, his wife or somebody was there that had the baby. And another guy from another table got on, and they just went to town on this guy. And they ended up closing the visit early over that. So, not too many fights happen in the visiting room, but that's the two that I know. But most of them happen on the basketball court, happen over debts, gambling, you know, at the gambling table. And they can become real bad at the gambling table, you know. It might be even more than just fist. And once in a while in the chow hall, probably more than what I've seen because I didn't go over there a whole lot. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you get something out of it. The best thing is just not go to prison. You don't have to worry about any of this, you know. You don't have to worry about missing your family. You don't have to worry about missing holidays. None of this. You don't have to worry about correctional officers telling you what to do. You know, you just don't do anything to get put in prison. That's all I'm saying. You know, even with me, I could maybe done things differently. Now I think about that often. You know, but then again, that was involved my brother. You know, so I can't blame anybody who defends their loved one. that's kind of different. But at the same time, just don't be doing things to get in trouble. You know, stupid things is what I'm talking about. And I'll see you next time. Bye.